Google's got these incredible new AI tools that are, well, they're kind of wild. They can fix your photos or, create whole new ones out of thin air. But, and this is a big but, not everyone's happy about it. There's some real drama brewing, and users are not holding back. So, let's get into it.
You love that feeling, right? You take what you think is the perfect picture, and then you see it, that random person in the background, that ugly trash can, something that just completely ruins the vibe. It's the worst. Well, this is exactly the problem that AI is promising to solve for us, like with a single tap, a magic wand for your photos.
Okay, so Google's answer to this is the Magic Eraser. It's this super smart AI-powered feature that's supposed to just zap those unwanted things right out of your pictures. The whole idea is to make your photos look exactly like you remember the moment. But, the big question is, does it actually work?
To figure that out, we got to put it head to head. And in the smartphone world, this is pretty much the title fight. You've got Google's Magic Editor on one side, and on the other, Apple's new contender, Cleanup. It's a total tech showdown.
All right, let's break down how they did in a few real-world tests. First up, getting rid of a fire extinguisher. Google nails it. You can see it really understands the scene, keeps the shadows looking right, the wall texture is perfect. Apple, well, it kind of freaks out and just mushes the floor and the wall together. So round one goes to Google. But then, for our second test, we tried taking out the main subject, this owl statue. And here, surprise, Apple actually does a way cleaner job. Google's version is just a blurry, smudged mess. And for the final test, erasing people from a busy street scene, Google pulls ahead again. It's smart enough to keep tiny details like a streetlight that Apple's tool just completely deletes. So it's not a clean sweep for either of them.
So, what we're seeing is that the tech is seriously impressive, right? It often beats out its biggest competitor. You'd think everyone would be singing its praises, but that's where things get interesting, because that is not what's happening. As Google has rolled out updates, a whole lot of its most dedicated users are getting, well, pretty ticked off.
And this quote from a user on Reddit, it just hits the nail on the head. They're saying the new eraser is terrible and the old one was 10 times better. There's this growing feeling that Google, in trying to make the tool more powerful, somehow made it clunkier and just worse. This isn't just a minor complaint. People feel like it's a huge step in the wrong direction.
So, what are the actual complaints? Well, they kind of boil down to a few big things. First, the new user interface. People are saying it's slow and clunky, especially for making those tiny, precise edits. Second, and this is a huge one, you now need an internet connection for it to work a lot of the time. They even got rid of some beloved features like Camouflage. And to top it all off, some people are saying the results are just plain worse now. Blurry, weird artifacts, or sometimes it just doesn't work at all.
Okay, so there's all this drama around the editing tools. But Google's AI plans are way, way bigger than just fixing photos. We're about to shift gears from fixing reality to straight up creating it. We're talking about generating brand new, totally realistic images just by typing out a few words.
And the powerhouse behind all this has a pretty wild name that popped up in some developer guides, Nano Banana Pro. Seriously. This is part of Google's Gemini AI, and it's what they call the thinking model. And thinking is the right word, because this isn't just randomly making pictures. This thing can actually reason about what you ask it to do. It gets things like physics and perspective. And get this, it can create images with sharp, clear text in them, which is something a lot of other AIs are terrible at. And you know what? Using it is actually pretty simple. First, you just open up Gemini and pick that thinking model, Nano Banana Pro. Then you can pop in a reference picture to give it some inspiration. But the real magic, the secret sauce, is in your prompt. You gotta be specific. Describe the whole scene, the lighting, heck, even the camera settings you want it to look like. The more detail you give it, the better it gets. Then just tell it what size you want, and boom, it goes to work.
And the stuff it can do is just wow, it's incredibly practical. Think about this. You could take one simple photo of a product, just sitting on a white background. Then you tell the AI, hey, put this in a bunch of cool lifestyle shots. And just like that, it can create a whole ad campaign for you. That same product on a mountain, in a coffee shop, you name it, all from that one picture. That's a game changer.
Or how about this one? This is brilliant. You know how impossible it is to get a team photo when everyone works remotely? It's a total nightmare. Well, now you can just upload everyone's individual headshots and tell the AI to create a group photo of them all together in an office. And it does. It matches the lighting, the angles. It looks like a real professional group photo, not some bad Photoshop job.
Okay, so this is where it all comes together.
To really understand why the creation tools are so amazing and why people are so mad about the editing tools, we have to look at the tech behind it all. It's all about where the AI does its thinking.
See, it all boils down to this one big conflict: on-device versus the cloud. When the AI works on-device, it's all happening right there on your phone. That means it's super fast, totally private, and it works even if you're offline. The downside? It's only as powerful as your phone's little chip. Then you have cloud-based AI. This is where your phone sends the job to Google's giant, powerful servers. The results are way, way better. But, and it's a big but, you need an internet connection, it can be slow, and you have to be okay with sending your personal photos up to the cloud.
And that is the exact reason for all the backlash. It clicks now, right? The new Magic Editor is relying more on the powerful cloud AI to get those better results. So all the people who love the old version because it was quick and worked offline are now stuck. The tool suddenly needs internet, and it feels like they've traded convenience for power they never even asked for.
So now that we have all that context, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. We've got these absolutely incredible, mind-blowing new features sitting right next to some really frustrating real-world problems. Let's break it down with a little scorecard. On the editing side, the power is undeniable. Magic Editor is amazing at understanding context, and it often beats the competition. But the problems are serious. The new UI is a pain, and needing the internet is a deal-breaker for some. Then there's creation, with our friend Nano Banana Pro. The consistency and text abilities are next level. The downside? The final image quality sometimes isn't quite as good as what you'd get from a dedicated AI art tool. And finally, usability. It's really easy for a beginner to just talk to the AI, which is cool, but it can also be a bit too sensitive, blocking you for prompts that are totally innocent. Okay, so we've seen the magic, we've seen the mayhem. What does this all actually mean for you right now if you're using these tools?
It really comes down to 3 things you need to remember. First, AI as an editor. It can be an amazing tool for perfecting your photos, but man, these recent updates have made it a real headache for a lot of people. Second, AI as a creator. This is genuinely revolutionary stuff. It's a whole new way to create images from nothing but your imagination. And third, and this is the most important one, remember the trade-off. The absolute best results are going to come from the cloud, but that means you're giving up some privacy and the ability to work offline. That's the choice you have to make.
And all of this leaves us with one final, kind of mind-bending question. When anyone, literally anyone, can create or change any image they want with just a few words, what does a real photo even mean anymore? In a world of AI, what is reality?